Thank you all for being here and happy Friday once again. So, this is our bi-weekly Eastside Rap meeting where we discuss the impact of homelessness on the east side of Santa Barbara. I'm Landon, program director with SB Act, and this is a partnership with the city of Santa Barbara as a part of our kind of South County coalition that extends all the way from Carpinteria to Goleta. City staff from the city administrator's office are not with us today. Carrie, the new homelessness and housing services manager, is in some other meetings. I know she has a lot on her plate as she's trying to get trained up and get fully acclimated to the role, but I'm going to be sending her notes from everything today. So please feel free to share anything and we'll pass it along. Just a couple of reminders as we start. We do meet every 2 weeks, and so we're keeping that schedule for the next month. I did want to just note I'm working on these cards to pass out to everyone, but these are the updated phone numbers. So for homeless outreach, there is the phone number that pertains to CityNet, which is the State Street waterfront and Lower East Side number right there. And that number you can call at other times, but we wanted to note specifically that that's one service that is available in the evenings and on the weekends, which the other numbers you call, some city services may not be available then. So I encourage you to save that one on your phone. And then the new updated card will also have a reference to the SB Connect app because we want to make sure everybody's using that. And of course, as usual, please call 911 if it's an emergency, if you see somebody who's presenting a danger to themselves or others, or any illicit activity. Wanted to note the County of Santa Barbara is conducting our first comprehensive study of vehicular homelessness because this is such a fast growing issue throughout the state. I may have mentioned this on a previous call, but they're actually starting that study in the next week, and it'll be going through the end of March. And then hopefully we'll have results sometime midway through this year. But the goal is just to try and understand who is living in their vehicles. Like, for example, one of the issues we come up with is that we talk to people who are living in vehicles and they don't identify as homeless. So if you come to them and say, "Hey, we want to connect you to homelessness services," some people will say, "No, that's not what I need. That's not for me." So we really need to understand a little bit better about kind of the demographics and the mentality of those who are living in their vehicles so that we can figure out how we address the issue. Um, and so I'm hopeful that we'll get some interesting results that'll be able to help our outreach teams moving forward. This is the first time this has been done since it's really an issue that's ballooned since the pandemic, especially. So I think it'll be an interesting conversation point for us all. Lastly, I just wanted to note because of the rainy weather, we have had the warming centers open. As far as I know, they are not open tonight, but they were open last night and the last several nights before that. Obviously, just with the wet weather, people move around. So please continue reporting to SB Connect if you see encampments, because if people have moved, it's helpful for us to know where to direct the services. So I will stop there. We have a smaller group today, but I'll open it up for our community members if anybody wants to share anything, any questions or concerns.
I know you guys keep saying this is a difficult case, but the guy across from Dune Coffee on Coda Street, right by the police construction site, it's growing. Um, yeah, that's all. Yeah, it's just he's amassing more and more, and it's just growing. And um, I mean, it's got to be bad with all the rain too.
Yeah, I'm sure. No, thank you for that. I know several of the teams are trying to work with that guy, but yeah, I appreciate the update.
Yeah, that's been going on for years and he just has not been receptive. I know his belongings have been like posted and removed a few times, but he always seems to end up back in that location.
I have watched people drive up in their vehicles and unload bags and things to give to him.
Mm.
That's partly how he's accumulating.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
there's a
probably know that
community
already.
educate no, but there's a community education piece there that I think is tough because I know we have a lot of people that obviously want to do what's right, but it's not helping in this situation. So
Yeah, you don't contribute to hoarding by adding stuff.
yeah. Well, thanks, Natasha. Anything else? Go ahead, Chris. You're muted, Chris. There you
We
go.
go. uh, I just wanted to say it was nice that one of the representatives from Mercy House was at a meeting of some of the people on the east side yesterday to say, to check in. Um, we appreciate that. Uh, I don't know. I have Nancy. Are you local here? Or are you remote? I mean, we're all remote because it's Zoom, but I mean, are you working in Santa Barbara or do you work elsewhere?
I am not in Santa Barbara. My office is in Orange County, but I do commute a few times a month to Santa Barbara and Ventura County, so I'm often traveling.
Well, I was just wanted to propose or suggest that I don't know if going forward, once things get a little more transitioned, and I realize it's not a fast process, that perhaps we could have somebody that is working locally to join in on the meetings as well.
Yes, that is the plan. So if I can just give a quick update on that, I'm sure some of you guys are aware the program manager, currently Daniel, he is leaving Mercy House. So today will be his last day with us. We've actually made a few changes to that role where it's going to be a regional manager. Instead of just the program manager, they'll have a lot more presence. This person will be the main agency representative. Once they're onboarded and once they're good to go, that will be the main representative of Mercy House, and they're going to be at the shelter. So that will be, hopefully soon. We'll be able to introduce that regional manager once they come on board.
What is your role, Nancy? Could you elaborate on that, please?
Yeah, of course. So I am a senior director. So I oversee a lot of the operations on the different regions. In this case, so Daniel, who is the program manager right now, reports directly to Nina Castellano. Nina is currently on PTO. So I oversee Nina directly. And therefore, that's the chain of command there. So it's program manager, Nina, and then myself as the senior director. So
Okay. So yeah, and Chris, thanks for mentioning it. We did meet with Larry yesterday. It was really productive, and think we got a really good understanding. Let me share with you one of my concerns. And so that location had been managed so poorly. And I believe that the difference that we're seeing in our community is due to your much more professional organizing and leadership approach. And I really, really do appreciate it. And what makes the difference is who your staff are, how they are trained, and how the values and the skills are being communicated and transferred. And I know that you've got open spots, and I have a deep and abiding concern that you'll fill those spots with some of the same people that were part of the problems that we were having in this community. So I don't know if you've got an answer for that. You don't need to answer me. Um, but we don't want to revert to what it was. I think what you've proven so far is really having me very optimistic, and I'd like to see the trend improving over time rather than, kind of a great blip and then a backslide or something like that. So if you can address that in general, that would be fine as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we've been very mindful, very strategic as to how we fill, the positions that we have open, and definitely, we're very mindful of, the staffs. There's definitely been some, of the former employees from Path that have applied for some of our positions, but, unfortunately, some of those have not worked out, but we're still, we proceed with our regular interviewing process and giving everyone a fair, opportunity to apply and get it interviewed. And if, they're the best candidate, then they're selected for the role. So we're definitely doing that, our best practices for hiring. And we'll be very mindful of that. I think that as far as the presence goes, we are also trying to, whoever we hire as this regional manager, we want to make sure that the presence is there. We know how important it is. We want to definitely be, good partners, and this is we want to be part of that community, and we want to make sure that whoever we select is going to be present, and it's going to be on site. So for the meantime, I know we do have an interim program manager that will be stepping in just so that there's no gaps in leadership. But we are right now currently interviewing for the regional manager, which we hope to have onboarded by the end of the month.
Thank you, Nancy. Nancy, can I ask? I know that you've been giving us updates about kind of some of the program or the staff openings. How staffed up are you at this point?
We have overall, I believe, our HR team was over there this couple of few days just doing interviews on site, and I believe now we have only about six positions open at the shelter, which have to do with one, I believe, is a navigation supervisor role. The other one's a navigator role, and the rest maybe just shelter specialist. But
Yeah.
we have only six more spots to go, and we'll be fully staffed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
No problem. So like I said, it's like if we our links up there for the positions that are still available. If anyone is interested in applying, tell your friends. We're still conducting interviews ongoing.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Anything else from the community members?
Yeah, I did just a reminder. I know I harp on this. Filling it is not the same thing as filling it with someone who has great skill, is a professional, and will carry a better vision forward. So, and again, that's my abiding concern. I do team building as, some of the services that I do for my clients. And it is scientifically shown one bad apple, you can have the best performing team on the planet, and one bad apple destroys a high performing team like almost immediately.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. And like you share, I think there's different levels of interviewing that we do and that our applicants go through. So that not just one panel is selecting the candidates, like they go through different interview panels just to make sure that we select the right candidate.
Yeah, because there are a lot of people in Santa Barbara who've been in this sphere, in this community, who have, on paper qualifications, and they've been part of the problems that we've had. So, and I
Yeah,
know that's
no,
an
I get
uncomfortable
that.
truth. And I think it's just, I'd like to put it on the table.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We'll definitely, I'll take that to our team, and we'll be very mindful of, our selections and the staff that make it to the staff roster.
All right. Thanks, Natasha. Um, well, Nancy, can we actually just keep putting you on the spot and just have you share a quick update about services at the shelter?
Yeah, of course. Right now, our navigation team is actually, we're getting them all ready to, prepare them to start and finish housing plans with all the clients at the shelter. So we have ourselves set a deadline to complete all of that by, the end of the month or by the latest, the first week of March. This is an effort to kind of, to know where each client is in their housing journey. Some we have unfortunately, found out that some of those clients have not been talked about housing for years. So it's very, very disappointing to hear that, and at the same time, very, very humbling that they're willing to work with our staff and creating this housing plan. For a lot of them, is the first conversation about housing that they've had with anybody, in months. So it's really just kind of motivating for us to continue doing the work that we're doing. So we have ourselves set that deadline to create housing plans for everyone at the shelter currently. And that's what our navigation team is doing. As far as operations go, our shelter specialists have actually been working with a lot of these clients that have been there for a couple of years. It's actually surprising how long they've been there. And we've been working and kind of helping them clear out some of their belongings. A lot of these clients have been accumulating personal items to the extent that has been, it's too much. So we've been actually working with each individual, helping them kind of sort out their belongings. They've been very receptive as to, what we're asking of them, kind of, being very trauma informed as to how we approach that. I know most of the clients are very attached to their belongings, and it's really difficult for them to let go. However, we're also kind of coming in, letting them know this is why we're asking you to do this, right? It's like, we understand this has not been asked of you for such a long time, but we need to help create an environment for everybody else where, it's going to be, not healthy for everybody. And, we ask them to just kind of go through their items, and some of them have actually been able to do that. And they've been donating some of their belongings to the Salvation Army. So, that's been really, humbling to see that they're working with us, and they're very receptive of some of the services we're providing over there. So I would say that's the major thing right now, is that we're trying to make sure that they're, they go through their personal belongings, because some of them have been accumulating items for quite some time.
Thanks, Nancy. Can I just ask two informational questions? One is how many clients are currently staying at the shelter? And then two, I'm just curious if Mercy House is enrolling people in the CalAIM program.
For right now, the census at the shelter, as of yesterday, I got that number. We're at 67. There have been some exits from some of the allocated beds for Cottage and Be Well. So some of those openings are because of their beds. So they're about to fill those with some of their clients. But the census overall is 67. We have been we just actually wrapped up this morning with the rain beds. So that's concluded already this morning, and the clients were exited this morning, the ones that occupied the rain beds. So that's the number we have so far.
That's great.
And as far as CalAIM services go, our team has not been enrolling them directly to CalAIM. However, I know CityNet has some of their clients that they're working with through the CalAIM program. So I know that we have a few that are already enrolled. And I think our team is in the process of just kind of getting credentials and all of that to be able to open up CalAIM services for them.
Right on. Okay. Sorry, one other follow-up question was, so you said Cottage and Be Well, they're going to resume their having beds at the shelter?
Yes, so they do. They actually are already, some of their clients are already using the beds. So the openings that we have right now, are mainly because some of their clients exited. So normally they will fill them with some of their referrals.
Right on. All right, thank you, Nancy. Let's go to Olivia with CityNet.
Yes, hello, good morning. I'm not sure if we have any super major updates. We've been continuing to provide outreach in the area. I know last week somebody sent something about the alleyway kind of by Milpas Liquor. So that's an area that we've been paying extra attention to. Um, we haven't had a ton of success with people wanting to utilize rain beds, but we have gotten a few people out of that area and into the rain beds. And aside from that, the beaches have been pretty clear. I know that some of those camps were cleared out a couple weeks ago, so we were doing outreach over there on East Beach. We had some positive engagement with people wanting to connect to services. So I think that's about it. The beach is not as populated as it used to be, at least not on the West Beach side.
Thanks, Olivia. Appreciate the update on the Milpas Liquor too. Andrew, any updates? He may be frozen again. I think he's been having some connection issues this morning. Well, we can give him a minute. Councilmember Santa Maria, not to put you on the spot, but I just want to check if you had anything you wanted to share. Oh, I see you put something in the chat.
Yeah, I put it in the chat, but one of the issue areas that I've been getting increased calls about recently has been the Quarantina underpass. Obviously with the rains that's bound to happen, but it's been happening even before the rains. So Carrie, who's our new housing and homelessness manager at the city, is already aware and is trying to find some solutions to that. But I just wanted to share it out as something that the city is aware of. We are aware that it is a critical issue there, especially there's other businesses and other folks there. So it's something that we are looking into and very much appreciate our partner service providers who are helping us deal with that situation. That's it.
Yeah, thank you. He may have frozen again. Andrew, I don't know if you can hear us. Yeah, looks frozen again. Almost the exact same position. I'll make sure he gets that message in case he's not receiving it. All right, anything else while we are all together? Go
Yeah,
ahead, Chris.
I've seen the PD in and around the post office area, and it seems like they're doing a really great job, and it really is a massive difference over there. It really is. So I know there are a lot of different efforts going to it, but I think the core is what's happening with Mercy House, and again, just deeply appreciative that it's actually for the first time in how many years we've been doing this, getting fixed.
I'll pass that
I
along
did
to
I
Lieutenant
didn't think
Beltran.
this day was going to come
Hmm,
ever.
right on. Thank you. Go ahead, Chris.
Um, questions basically for Andrew and team. Now that the rains seem to have exited our area and the rain shelter beds are closing, we always have the Milpas Cacique underpass areas that really have had quite a few people the last week. And so I'm assuming the city will be coming out and power washing soon. I see we also have, I think, Saturday morning cleanup on Cacique and Aliso. So I'm not sure if it's this coming Saturday or a week. I think it's tomorrow.
Is that a city hosted event, Chris?
Yeah, sustainability and resilience.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I can't speak to the power washing, but I'll see if I can get a response from Andrew. I can email out about some of these different areas that have been brought up.
yeah, there's been a lot of people there this week, and I was just like waiting for the rain to say anything to leave, because
Sure.
we know there's some people that are going to be resistant to taking the available shelters, and then those beds can fill up too. There's
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, just to tag on to what Chris is saying, she's right. Before the rains even started, and I mentioned it to PD when they were doing whatever they were doing over at the post office. There was a couple that had been camping for like nearly a week. And I was actually waiting to get on one of these calls. And they were like right under, you know, probably under one of the signs that said no, sit and lie.
Yeah. So I think we kind of wait and see how things shake out, but I will check with Andrew about the schedule to see when they'll be out there next routinely. But yeah, I mean, keep an eye on it because if things stay the same, that's new. All right. Unless there's anything else, we can wrap it up for our community members today. So thank you all for making time and a lot to pass along here. So we will see you in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thanks. Have a good Friday and weekend, everyone.
You too.
And thanks for making a difference.